It was a little over 5 years ago that I went in for a routine lab, and we found out that I was losing kidney function. And the doctor put me on a number of medications, but it was a gradual decline of the function of my kidneys. In anticipation of what we knew was coming, which was my kidneys were going to fail, I went in and had surgery done on my left arm to put in a fistula, a port, so that they could do dialysis. And I was put on the transplant list at Georgetown and Johns Hopkins. I started about 2.5 years in to do the dialysis. And at first, I was doing pretty well. But about 6-8 months in, my body started to react badly to the dialysis, and I started having problems. I wasn't able to sleep. I was averaging about an hour and a half of sleep a night for over a year, and my blood pressure would regularly go to 240 over 120. All of that was telling me that something was going to go pretty soon.
Our family has known the Puckett family for quite a few years, being involved in Emmanuel's choir. I have noticed over the past year or so Brooks being not as active, not around as much, and noticed last November just him being wiped out, really tired, and in fact somewhat jaundiced. With Brooks being so sick, the Lord led in my heart to ask what the process was and to see if there was a possibility for me to possibly donate one of my kidneys to Brooks. Knowing that he was so sick and having dialysis 3 to 4 times a week just made quality of life very poorly. And if I was a candidate and could offer new life, then I was willing to go through the test to see if it was possible.
The day that I found out that Sheryl was willing to give me her kidney, I was at church, and I was not doing very well. I was feeling really sick. And my wife, Maribeth, was having a conversation with Sheryl, and I was giving her the high sign that we needed to get out of there, and not realizing that what Sheryl was just saying and doing. And when Maribeth got in the car, she said, "Do you realize what Sheryl and I were talking about?" And I said, "No." And she said, "She saw you with Chase, and the Lord laid it on her heart that she could help you, and she'd like to give you a kidney. And she wants to know who the transplant coordinators are at Hopkins and Georgetown so that she can go through the process." And I was flabbergasted. I couldn't imagine that someone would be willing to come up and make that offer. So I sent an email to Sheryl with the names of the coordinators at Hopkins and Georgetown, and she took the ball and ran with it immediately.
Conversations with Brooks and Maribeth were spent mostly on emails or Facebook, but last Easter I told them I had made contact with Johns Hopkins and Georgetown University Hospital, and the process was to begin the day after Easter.
As it turned out, not only was it a miraculous event to have somebody come up and say, "I'm willing to give you a kidney," but it also turned out that she was a 100% compatible donor, and that it was an absolutely best case scenario, the kidney that she was willing to give me. Yeah, I believe the Lord does some of the most remarkable works in your life when you're going through something that is a real struggle. And this whole process was a real struggle for me because I knew that I was dying. And it definitely shows you that you can't rely on yourself and that you have to go to the Lord.
surgery was set for the end of August. We were delighted that we had a countdown day. We were able to share out loud with our family and friends and begin the process of August 28th. Both families were excited and somewhat cautious. God worked in my heart and in my life over the past year leading up to the transplant in showing me that He's in control. I need to have an open heart and mind and ears and know that He will speak to me, whether it's through a book, a friend, and He's in control, and I need to continue to trust in Him daily for my daily needs. The night before surgery, the Pucketts and the ushers checked into our hotels in Baltimore and went to the Inner Harbor for dinner. The evening was beautiful. There were many tears shed, knowing what was going to happen the next 24 hours, but a great moment to share together, the four of us.
Well, the day of the surgery, as they do in surgery, especially very long surgeries, they like to do it real early in the morning. And the thing I remember the most was that there were 30 people in the waiting room praying for me. Most of them were people here from Emmanuel. And the church family coming around us and praying for us, lifting us up in prayer was just stunning, especially that early in the morning, that far away up in Baltimore.
The afternoon after surgery, the nurses want to get you up and get you moving, and my chore for the afternoon was to take a walk, and decided to take a walk towards Brooks' room. And as I was rounding the corner, he was on his way out of his room for a walk, and what a sight that was to see him up, to see him with color and family standing around him. Just knew that it was worth it.
I just gave her a big hug and told her, "Thank you, you saved my life." And I don't think we said much more than that. It was just, it was a very touching moment because literally what she did saved me. Since the surgery, the most notable thing that I've been able to reflect on is the way my family has been drawn closer together by all this. I think probably the greatest joy is being able to get down on the floor and roll around with my 2-year-old grandson and play with him and marvel at how he's growing up and developing, and seeing my children growing and prospering, and all of those things are just so much sweeter. I was also really touched by the way that the Emmanuel family just rallied around our family, and there were hundreds of people that were praying for us and following us on Facebook and on the Caring Bridge page. It just was really overwhelming to see that kind of support and just see the body of Christ and how it works.
Being able to share my experience with those I interact with are seeing a new side. They've never seen anyone necessarily give life to another person in this aspect, and I'm grateful that I'm able to share that and share that it's through Christ that I'm able to do this, and know that would the Lord have taken my life and kept Brooks alive, that was a risk I was willing to take.